I was told once upon a time, do not take a dump where you eat. On account, how you going to survive if you do that? Well, apparently, Richard Zegler actually did that. How do I know? I look at reviews at Snow White. I saw like the reviews, all of the critics are all clamoring. They were all like sucking up to her. It was kind of disgusting. It's like, oh, it's great, it's great. And here's the sad thing, for all intents and purposes, the movie could be made to be an Oscar caliber. It could be made to be great, but here's the problem. Richard Zegler was let loose and she trashed the movie, trashed her role, trashed the 1935 movie. Oh yeah, she happened to trash the audience because like they are Trump supporters. She trashed them. She trashed the Israelis. In case you forgotten, her co-star Gal Gadot is Israeli, a former IDF soldier, and all that. And she's like, Richard Zegler was like the classic bull in the china shop. And you do all this mess, all this drama. You gonna tell me if things gonna do good? That's not good PR. That's a PR disaster. How do I know that? I'm looking at headlines right this second. I will provide a link. I'm looking at the Associated Press. It says here, Snow White opens with a sleepy $43 million at the box office. $43 million? Now you think like, what's the big deal? I'll tell you what the big deal is. The budget for the Snow White movie from Disney is $250 million. It's $250 million, and the best it can muster is $43 million? Are you kidding me? That's not good. I mean, that is not good. Let me read some of this from the Associated Press. I'm going like, wow, that's not good. The way the critics are saying, oh, this movie's so great, they think like this movie gonna do. I was under the impression you're gonna make some money and all that. I thought it'd be like over 100 million, something like that. Where it won't be a blockbuster hit, but I make some money. It didn't make that much money. It starts off by saying Snow White opens with a sleepy $43 million at box office. That's not a good start. All this hype saying how good this movie is and this is the best you can do? No. But then again, it didn't help the fact that Richard Zegler pretty much like went in a PR tear and pretty much trashed the movie and everything else before it came in the big screen. I think it got delayed for about a year. Because of that, I'm thinking that's not a good sign. Okay, it starts off like this. New York, Associated Press. The Walt Disney Company's live-action controversy, keywords, controversy bedeviled. Okay, the two words you don't ever want together when it comes to a Walt Disney live-action movie. Controversy, hyphenated, bedeviled. Not good. Snow White opened theaters with a sleepy $43 million in ticket sales according to studio estimates Sunday. That's not a good sign. No, it's not. With a budget above $250 million, Snow White had set out with higher ambitions, particularly since it returned Disney to its origins. No, it did not. Stop your lying. The story they did with this Snow White is not the same as 1930 something. You can stop. No, it's not the same. Stop trying to conflate them into one. Stop. And I say, well, it's a retelling. That's not original. It's trying to do something different. It's not. It goes on to say here, the 1937 original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the company's first animated feature and paid for its Burbank studio lot. Hold on a sec. Okay, where was I? But this Snow White struggled to find anything like a fairy tale ending. The run-up to the release was plagued by controversies over the film's handling of the dwarves. They got rid of them, please. I mean, they try to replace the dwarves with 7 magical people. I just see the pictures of the 7 magical people. I'm thinking like, this screams woke. This is the epitome of woke. This is not Hollywood, it's Hollywoke. Can I say something on a side note, folks? The idea of going to a movie is to be entertained and get away from the trials and tribulations of the world, to get away from the very things that stress us. And what we do, we go to a movie, what happened? The trials and tribulations of the world is screaming in our faces. People try to get away from it, not run to it. It's like you try to get away from the forest fires, but you make it sound like people are going to die face first into the fire. No, no, no. There are a lot of people who are masochists like that, but come on, not like that. Goes on to say, the run-up to the release was plagued by controversies over the film's handling of the dwarves, who are rendered in CGI, and backlashes over comments by his star Rachel Zegler. The PR headaches prompted Disney to pull back on its premiere. Now keep in mind, you're not going to tell me there's no little people, real little people, who would kill to star in Snow White. Somewhere, I see a huge community of little people losing their minds. And people say, oh, stop being so stereotypical. Look, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong, there are some little people who star in some very prominent, probably movies, television show, like Peter Dinklage. He was been killing it lately. He was in Avengers Endgame. He was in X-Men Days of Future Past. That was pretty sick. And we can never forget him in Game of Thrones. This guy is one twisted little monster. I'm serious. Seriously. But here's the thing. He's like one of the top names and all that. A lot of other little people who like very well-known stars. But that's besides the point, though. This movie could be a big break for the little people. And because of Rachel Zegler's horrible PR press, that's been screwed. So the little people were replaced by CGI dwarves. Gee, thanks for nothing. That'd be if I was a little person and that was a happy, gee, thanks for nothing, Rachel. You just pretty much killed my dream. Thanks for nothing. Goes on to say, also working against the film, directed by Mark Webb, poor reviews. What? I'm confused here. I saw some reviews and the critics was sucking up to Rachel Zegler and pretty much like the whole production of Disney. That's insane. But okay, I'll keep looking into it. Oh, snap. That's not good. This is what I just read. Critics were largely not impressed with Disney's latest live-action remake, with reviews at just 43% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, that's not good. Below 50 is bad, and you hit 43, that is not a good sign. There's been a wide variance between the box office performance of the other live-action Disney remakes, but Snow White marks a new... What the? Nadir? What? The word is Nadir. If you know what it means, folks, let me know. I'll try to look it up too, but I'm like, what the heck? Try to throw a fancy college words to confuse us? Thanks. Jon Favreau's photorealistic Lion King didn't have great reviews, but it grossed more than $1.6 billion. Okay. Worldwide, Snow White opens worse than Dumbo, a $46 million opening in 2019. Well, shy at Cinderella territory $67.9 million in 2015. So far, Snow White's not looking good. So unless people change their mind midstream, it's not a good trend. It is what it says here. Snow White overseas Snow White added $44.3 million for global launch of $87.3 million. But going into the weekend, Snow White has been eyeing a worldwide total closer to $100 million. A few weeks back, expectations were significantly higher. So the only thing to say with Snow White is global exposure. But other than that, though, it's not doing that great in the States. It's not. And the best it can do is $100 million, and it spent $150 million more. The result will surely add to questions over Disney's long-term strategy, mining its vaults for live-action remakes. Stop trying to remake the remakes. How's that? Stop listening to Rachel, but most importantly, stop listening to these woke maniacs. But as the saying goes, you go woke, you go broke. But don't listen, but this is what you get. The result, okay, I already said that already. Okay, the results will surely add to questions over Disney's long-term strategy of mining its vote for live-action remakes. In the pipeline are upcoming new versions of Mona and Tangled, a live-action Lilo and Stitch launches in May. I don't know about Mona and Tangled, but Lilo and Stitch, please don't ruin it. Out of all this three between Mona, Tangled, and Lilo and Stitch, don't make it woke. Tell a good story, make it compelling, make it likable, don't let the stars get stupid, and you will have yourself a blockbuster hit. Make Disney great again. I said it, make Disney great again. And you gotta listen on to here. Efforts to modernize Snow White, though, quickly ran afoul. Shocker, shocker, shocker. In 2022, actor Peter Dinklage criticized the remake plans as backwards. Disney ultimately opted to drop And the Seven Dwarfs from its original title and animate the dwarves. For some right-wing, some right-wing commentators targeted Snow White's and Zegler's casting as overly woke productions. Delays and reshoots also ran up costs. Well, yes, it's woke with a capital W. Woke. Modernize, get out of here. Disney, though, recently steered a handful of films from modest starts to an inevitable final halt. The Barry Jenkins directed Mustafa, The Lion King, opened with $35.4 million domestically, but ultimately surpassed $717 million worldwide. Snow White will face little direct competition in the coming weeks. Audience gave it a B+ cinema score. So here's the thing. Is Mustafa, The Lion King, woke like Snow White? That's my question. If it's woke like Snow White, then Snow White will have a chance. If it's not woke like Snow White, yes, Snow White has a problem. And last time I checked, nobody went out of their way and trashed the movie and trashed the story about Mustafa or The Lion King. Last time I checked. It also goes here, Warner Brothers' Alto Nights, a period gangster film starring Robert De Niro, that dude, in both lead and roles, was total misfire. Whoa. Barry Levinson directed film, which cost about $45 million to make, opened with just $3.2 million from only 22,651 theaters? Ouch, that hurts. The flop of Alto Nights followed another misfire from Warner Brothers, where Bong Joon-ho's big-budget sci-fi Mickey 17. In 3 weeks, it tallied $40.2 million domestically against a $118 million budget. Man, these things are sucking like crazy. Okay, Magazine Dream, starring Jonathan Majors, also distributed an aspiring bodybuilder. Opened with $700,000 for Briarcliff Entertainment in 850 locations. The film was dropped by Searchlight Pictures after Majors was convicted of 2 misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment against Grace Jabari. Oh yeah, and his ex-girlfriend Majors avoided jail time but was given a year of probation. So basically, when Jonathan Majors got all his bad press, yeah, he's going to have a lot of issues in terms of the movies. What else? Disappointment-filled weekend added to a rough 2025 so far for Hollywood. The box office down 6.9% from last year, according to data from ComScore, and 38.6% from 2019. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Top 10 movies by domestic box office. Okay. How's this for irony? He got, Snow White at $43 million. So it took about $250 million for it to be produced. But it basically come up with, at least domestically, it's $43 million. That's not good. Overall, it makes $100 million, but you're still 150 short. But that's number one. Number two, Black Bat. Have no clue what it is. $4.4 million. Captain America: Brave New World, $4.1 million. despite what people say about it, I enjoyed it, and I think it's gonna be okay. It's gonna do fine, no matter what. Mickey 17, I forgot. I think I have no idea what that is, but it's not doing that great. Nova came to my surprise. Looks interesting. Looks more like a comedy adventure movie, more than anything else. But it only got about 3.8 million. Mickey 17 got 3.9 million. Captain America: Brave New World 4.1 million, and Black Bag 4.4 million. Outdoor Kings 3.2 million. The Day the Earth Blew Up 1.8 million. The Monkey 1.5 million. Dogman 1.5 million. The Last Supper 1.1 million. Ooh, okay, I gotta see The Last Supper one. Shame on me for that one. And that's pretty much it, folks. But here's the funny thing. Like I said before, Richard Zegler, the way she trashed the Snow White movie, that is a dumb move. That's equivalent you go into your job. You trash your job, you trash your title, you trash the project you're working on your job, but you expect to get paid a good salary. That was Rachel Zegler's mindset. She tried to make it so woke and all that. And here's the funny thing. It's not Barbie. This is Snow White. This is not Barbie. Huge difference. Barbie is geared towards women, especially feminists. Snow White is a classic, conservative, family valued movie. But for some funny reason, you're going to try to make it more modern. Forget the prince, get somebody totally different. So basically, you got to get a person of nobility. You get like another version of Robin Hood. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Robin Hood. Take from the rich, give from the poor. I like that. But with Snow White? Yeah. You're trying to confuse some people or frustrate people. Congratulations. But folks, what's your thoughts on this? I'm like, I probably won't be surprised that the movie wasn't all that, doing all that hype, but I'm not that surprised. Some people try to have hopes that it's going to pick up soon. It's going to take off. Well, it's going to wait and see type thing. Will you support this movie or are you going to avoid this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Peace.